You're listening to Spark TV, where we bring you daily interviews with real women in business at all stages. I'm your host, Danielle Lewis, and I am so grateful to have you here. You mentioned being a venture-backed startup. So talk to me
hmm
about raising capital. What was that like? How much have you raised? From who? What was the experience like of going out and raising money?
Yeah. So I have two co-founders. It's the three of us, and I've been on technical. They're both technical. And to date, we've raised about $8 million.
Awesome.
Um, and from like what you would typically call like institutional VCs. Um, and we did that over. Uh, we raised like a pre-seed and a seed um, back a kind of few years ago. So have been, we have a fiduciary duty with like that capital
Mm-hmm.
to use it as efficiently as we can. And so that has, that's a lot of responsibility. It's been, an incredible responsibility and challenge. Raising has really been one of my co-founders.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he's, it's like we've deploying our assets across the three of us.
Love that.
So he has been the one to really dig in with kind of investors and investor relations. We kind of shape the strategy together, kind of like the
Mhm.
three of us. Um, and we'll do calls and kind of catch ups and stuff, but fundraising is stressful. Being in a process is also stressful. You could be talking to, literally, 50, 60, 70, 80, sometimes, 100 different firms
Mm.
at different times, kind of within a process. So it can be very draining. And you get used to hearing, yes, maybe. It's like not even a yes at first, right? It's like, oh, maybe, a lot of no's, or just like silence and kind of ghosting, or, we want to track you and kind of like we'll revisit. So I think you just get very used to the, kind of pitching yourself, your business, your vision,
Yeah.
which is important for any business, whether you're venture backed or not, or whether
Mm.
you're selling a service or a physical product. And also, thinking about like the different audiences, the different kind of like type of funds, the different type of people you might be kind of like talking to. And, there's also some like gaming and like kind of strategy within it as well too. That can be fun for some and really, really really, really stressful for others. I think, lucky that, I have been able to raise. There are a lot of women who haven't. I think it's
Mm.
now less than 2% of women founded companies that are able to raise venture capital. So, and that has like been in decline over the last few years. I think at one point it was like 2% or just over 2%. So,
Mhm.
um, super, super lucky.
Do you, I mean, you have an amazing business. Do you attribute your success in raising venture capital to something? Like, has there been a secret to your success? Do you think it's your team, just have an amazing business, like, or a bit of a combination of everything?
I think it's, when you are raising a pre-seed, it is really like the vision and
Mm.
the team and the, vision of the product that you're going to build, the almost kind of what the world might look like and be like once you've kind of solved that, or the kind of like mission in that. And
Mm.
they're really taking a bet on like the founding team and being able to kind of like execute. So I have two really incredible technical kind of co-founders. um where the three of us are really able, we have really complementary kind of skill sets, and we're able to create and execute and kind of bring to life in all the areas that, we need to be able to sell and scale. So
Yeah.
that it's a combination of things. I think it's also timing, it's timing in the market, what we are building, who we're building it for. There's probably some luck in there as well. I am a female founder, but I also have two male uh
Co-founder.
co-founders, and sorry, I feel like I'm being sloppy with this, so you might want to edit it. But
No,
there's also
no,
something,
this is
there's
just
also
real life. This is real
yeah,
life.
yeah, yeah, it is real life. There's also something in that too. It wasn't just me,
Mm,
myself, kind of going out to raise as a woman.
yeah.
Um, so
Yeah.
yeah, there's
It's
that.
I know, but it is just interesting hearing other people's stories to figure out, what somebody might be missing who's listening in. Yeah, it's really
Yeah.
interesting. Have you found, so from a stakeholder management point of view, obviously raising $8 million in capital brings with it shareholders, potentially a board,
hmm
lots of overhead that's not actually running the business. Are you involved much in that kind of management?
Um, yes, insofar as, we have a quarterly board meeting, we'll work on a board deck together, we'll discuss strategy and, what our kind of talking points are. There's definitely preparation kind of
Yeah.
for it. And I think sometimes it can be a really wonderful, kind of beautiful forcing function too, to um whether it's landing that like kind of like last bit of strategy on something, or, getting we've been back and forth on how we might solve XYZ for like a particular feature, right? Or getting that campaign out or what have you. It,
Mm,
there's something nice in having a deadline. And it also can work against you too. You're like, I don't, it feels like we're not quite ready yet. We wish it was in like 2 weeks or kind of 3 weeks or what have you. So yes, there's overhead. Yes, there's investor updates. There's calls. Um, and I think we've been really incredibly lucky with the investors that we have. They're really great partners. I know
mm,
not everyone can say that, and I think they trust us, but we've also shown that we've can be trusted, and we've had to make and we can make hard decisions if we need to, whether that's around kind of resourcing, team, pivoting the product, decision making strategy, etc.
that wraps another episode of Spark TV. Shout out to Spark TV sponsor IP Australia for their amazing support of the Spark podcast and women in business. And if no one tells you today, you've got this.